The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With Rivals Bama Insider Managing Editor Kyle Henderson and former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice Mick Gillispie. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Bama Buggy, best price, best selection, best service. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. Rounders on the Strip, Vegas-style bar with the best rooftop in Tuscaloosa. Allstate agent Andrew Knipper. You're in good hands with Allstate. Innisfree, an Alabama Irish pub tradition. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. R&R Cigar in downtown Tuscaloosa, home of the Victory Cigar.
Also brought to you by Hotel Indigo, Tuscaloosa's amazing upscale boutique lodging in downtown. The Floor Bama, world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Commercial banker Jay Weber with Service First Bank Fairhope.
And now, here are Kyle and Mick.
What do you say, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's time for the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're presented by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. As you see my swag here. And I know, let me get through this because I'm about to throw this over to Trey here. He wears a large, so I've got this one. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview Alabama, Mississippi State. It's at Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow, 6 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN. On the show today, we're going to have Leonard Sluicer. We got Lance Taylor from Jocks doing his Lance's Lock segment. We got one of my favorite all-time SEC voices, the godfather of SEC talk radio, Max Howe, is going to be on the show. We're going to do a Mick and Brick beer review, so we're going to get your tailgates ready. We're also going to do another craft shot of Screwball original peanut butter whiskey. We got a cigar segment with Reagan and much, much more. So I'm Mick Gillispie. Really great to team up with one of the best in the business, Kyle Henderson. He is the managing editor of the Alabama rival site, Bama Insider. He's an expert on the program. We'll have Andrew Bone join us later. He is an award-winning author, recruiting news. Kyle, with all that said, good to see you, buddy. How's it going, man?
Hey, another Bama Insider Tailgate, and I'm excited to be here. Excited about that swag that you guys got at Innisfree, and excited to talk Alabama versus Mississippi State. I think when you look at this game, there's certainly there's some compelling storylines, believe it or not. I mean, you look at everything that went wrong with Mississippi State over the last 5 to 7 days. It could get ugly, for Mike Leach, who's coming to face Nick Saban and the ferocious Alabama Crimson Tide. Actually, Alabama's favored now by 33 points, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Alabama's ranked number 2. They've got a 13-game winning streak over Mississippi State. They're trying to get to a 6-0 start in this 10-game schedule. And Mississippi State has players dropping off like flies. Hey, by the way, Kyle, I didn't mention this before, but we're live at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. The remote's brought to you by Screwball Original Peanut Butter Whiskey. And look, man, this atmosphere, right? I mean, it's not normal with COVID and everything else, but it's still fun to be here. Trey's on site, like he's hanging out now, just to be around people and have that football vibe. And, like Andrew saying, Roll Tide on on our chat board as you watch on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Look, man, it just feels like football here in Tuscaloosa. It really does. So 6 to 8 Friday nights in Tuscaloosa, we're going to be here. Show note off next week. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to be at the Floor Bama for the LSU game. But 6 to 8 Friday nights when we do our show live on the YouTube channel. 9 to 11 tomorrow. You can listen to the show on Jocks 2. That's 100.5 Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and surrounding areas. And then, of course, tonight after the show, Kyle, we're going to work hard to get that podcast out there so that you guys can download it. Probably by 8:30, you'll be able to do that Central Time. All right, 13 straight over state in the battle for Highway 82. And I don't feel like this one's even going to be a game. And it's not that I don't respect Mississippi State. They're just losing players so fast.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of look at the drop-offs, the last couple of days. I think there's some things going on behind the scenes at Mississippi State. With that said, I think from listening to Nick Saban this week, even Mac Jones, I mean, they talked about Mississippi State and just the offense that they're coming in with. It's an offense that Alabama isn't accustomed to seeing. I mean, Nick Saban said that Mississippi State could throw the football 60 to 70 times. So you combine that with Mike Leach. You never really know what he's going to do in these type of games. Mississippi State looked good in week one, as we saw when they knocked off LSU, and the trajectory has kind of been a little bit down as of late, but still it's Mike Leach. So I think you have to be prepared for anything coming your way. And, we're talking rat poison when we talk about that 33-point spread, and Alabama will just have to take care of business because this is the most important team on the schedule right now.
The Bama Insider Tailgate Show live at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa as you watch on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, or you listen on Jocks 2. 48-17 last week. Alabama knocked off Tennessee to make it 14 straight. The rat poison, that's one thing, but losing a star player, Jalen Waddle, that's another. And, I mean, Alabama's going to have to do it without maybe their best playmaker, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, the loss is instrumental. I mean, absolutely. You lose a player like Jalen Waddle, and I consider him the most explosive player in all of college football. The way he went down, certainly upsetting. But I think there's guys on this team that can step up. I mean, you look at what Slade Bolden did last week in the small sample size, 6 receptions for 94 yards. And then you also have Javon Baker, who's a freshman at Alabama, who I think will get in some capacity. He only saw 2 snaps against Tennessee, but he's certainly capable of doing big things if his name is called on. And then a guy that, we don't even – Alabama fans have a hard time even remembering that he's so productive, and that's Devontae Smith. He has 45 receptions in just 5 games. And then, of course, you have John Mechie. So Alabama has talent. They can go to that 2 deep. And this year, as we've talked about several times, it's all about the quality of depth. And that's something that Alabama has on a constant basis.
Yeah, Kyle, Slade Bolden, we saw him last year doing some things. He plays a lot of different positions, but I mean, I guess now he's the slot guy.
Yeah, Slade Bolden is certainly a guy that, we are all excited to see it. Whenever he did get onto the field, last year, he came on some Wildcat packages and they kind of sprinkle him in on special teams. Now is his time to show what he can do. And I think he's going to be that perfect slot wide receiver. He has very good hands. I know a lot of people are going to point to the slant pass that he dropped for a touchdown. But besides that, I think he's still a guy that's going to be very productive. You have to remember, he's a very versatile athlete. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year a couple years ago in the state of Louisiana playing quarterback. And when Alabama goes against a scout team quarterback that can run around, Slade Bolden is usually that guy. So he brings a lot to the table, a lot of confidence. We got to hear from him speak to the media this week. It's a great interview, high IQ guy, and I think someone who's certainly going to pick up where Jalen Waddle left off. I mean, you're not going to replace a Jalen Waddle. No way. You just can't do that. But I think Slade Bolden and maybe a Javon Baker can be those guys to step up as their name is called.
This Alabama offense has been so explosive, and we kind of got into this last week, but another win, another performance where they're just unstoppable. Are these guys comparable to last year's LSU team?
That's a good question. I think, maybe with Jalen Waddle, yes. Without him, no. That LSU offense last year and what Joe Burrow did was, it was phenomenal. I mean, everybody remembers when they came in here to Tuscaloosa in that game. I think if it had, 5-6 more minutes on the clock, I think Alabama might have had their way with that one. But this team, and Nick Saban said in an article that Chris Lowe wrote, we just keep talking about that. That was last week. That offense wins these games these days, and I agree. I mean, you look at the production of Mac Jones and how he's commanded this offense overall. I mean, it's been absolutely stellar. I think a lot of people feel that when Tua left, that you're going to see a dip at the quarterback position, and we haven't. I mean, I think if anything, the trajectory is actually up. after Tua, which is really unbelievable considering Tua is about to get his first start on Sunday for the Miami Dolphins. Mac Jones is playing lights out. He had 3 consecutive games where he threw for 400 yards and, threw for a quiet 350 or whatever against Tennessee.
He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. All right, final question of this first segment. Mississippi State, they've got big issues over there. They've got a bunch of players transferring, star players. And I guess the question is, and I don't want to ruin the entire show by posing this, but can they even contend with Alabama?
I don't think so. I think you just, man for man. I mean, I think Alabama just roster wise is always going to be better than Mississippi State. I mean, it's going to be that usual case for Alabama the rest of the way. And I say that against teams like LSU and Auburn. I think that, Alabama right now just is too dynamic on the offensive side of the football. I mean, Vegas doesn't miss often, right? And the point spread is 33 points. Now I say that, and I think against Ole Miss, it was 23 points. And look at that game. I think it's a different type of game. Lane Kiffin, I think, caught Saban at a good time in the season. I think Alabama's secondary has an opportunity to stand up to make plays tomorrow, and they really have to. And I think the big focus and something that I'm watching for Saturday during Alabama and Mississippi State is the pass rush. Against Tennessee, Alabama didn't have any sacks. They had 1 quarterback pressure, and you have to do that consistently if you want the defense to make plays. They got to do it tomorrow. They got to do it against Mississippi State, and they're going to have a chance because Mississippi State's probably going to throw the ball, 60, 70 times in this game.
This is my friend Andrew Knifer's All-State mini footballs. I'm just wondering how many of these footballs it's going to take to figure out. I'm going to count them all as 6. How many Alabama wins this football game by? This offense has just been ferocious. Hey, guys, let me tell you that the Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by our friends at Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. You come by here, and I'll give you $50 to play on us if you're a new member. I got these cards sitting here. They got the schedule on the back. They're at the table here at Innisfree, or you can go online and get that same deal. Mike Leach brings Mississippi State to Tuscaloosa after that stunning victory over LSU to start the season. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs have not won since. Players are leaving, and things are starting for the Pirate to go down. We're going to talk about Mississippi State and Alabama when we come back. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show returns after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide. Always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers, featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
The Flora-Bama Beach Bar is open at full capacity with no COVID restrictions. It's time to slip on back Orange Beach for multiple stages of live music daily, free bingo Monday through Friday, and football watching all season long on tons of TV. There's never been a better time to enjoy sunsets from the beachfront bars with a famous bushwhacker. Flora-Bama is one of the top beach bars in the world, and under Florida guidelines has no COVID restrictions. Planning on a bachelor or bachelorette party? Then come do it on the line. Find out more at florabama.com.
For a few glorious weeks, autumn blankets the Smoky Mountains in brilliant color. A Harvest Fest celebration filled with fun, where the best smiles aren't just the ones on jack-o'-lanterns. The excitement starts long before you visit. It starts the second you begin planning, the instant you tell the kids, the minute you hop in the car. This fall, when the getting there is part of the fun, you're headed to Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
Today's Game Story segment is brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. Alabama, according to ESPN, has a 96.5% chance of winning as a 31.5-point favorite over Mississippi State. Do they have a chance to win the game? We're going to talk about that now. This show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. The BamaInsider Tailgate Show is. Yuengling is a sixth-generation company. Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. I knew Cheryl, and I still know her. She's our friend. And even though this beer is brewed in Tampa and it's brewed in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, maybe Florida territory or Penn State territory, she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. And then, hey, if you haven't tried the new Hershey Porter, oh, my goodness. Two Pennsylvania powerhouse companies together, Yuengling and Hershey. It has been so good. We're at Innisfree with our show tonight. Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. Great crowd as we get ready to talk about this game. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey is the presenting sponsor of this remote. They've given us some swag. These are some stickers that we're going to actually do a shot. Got the shot glass here, but all the T-shirts have blown out, man. People love Screwball, so it has been already a fun start to this Friday night and Saturday if you're listening tomorrow. All right, Kyle Henderson's the managing editor of the BamaInsider Rivals Alabama site. Andrew Bone will join us shortly. He's our recruiting expert. And, we're here, Trey Yanity and me at Innisfree. We're going to talk about Alabama and Mississippi State, Kyle. Alabama without Jalen Waddle. We kind of touched on this last segment, but what does that mean not only to the offense, but the special teams?
I mean, it can mean a variety of things. I mean, number one, it means that you don't have the most dangerous man in all of America returning kicks and punts, against you. Now, I think that there's still, as you know, very dynamic players on Alabama's arsenal that can do just that. You have a guy like Slade Bolden who will take over as a punt returner. I'll be curious to see who Alabama has returning kicks. I would assume that's maybe Slade Bolden as well. But, from a special team standpoint, and it's obviously a very vital part of the game, I think Alabama is going to be just fine. And we can talk about more of the special teams and how Will Reichard, the kicker, has kind of emerged as one of the best storylines of this early season so far. Overall, I mean, when you look at a loss like Jalen Waddle, I think it's impactful. I mean, you look at the face of Najee Harris in this last game, he was emotionally upset. And I think a lot of players on the team were clearly, but a lot of the fans were as well. I think as Alabama fans are out there, I think they're still not over the way that Tua's season ended. and really his career at Alabama against Mississippi State, ironically, right? And now going up against Mississippi State, I'm going to be curious to see how this team responds, because now they're going to be without one of their top offensive players. How does this team respond facing one of the biggest injuries that they've suffered this coming season? Key nugget coming into this game, watch for Ronald Williams. He'll be a defensive back that looks to be ready to go after suffering a fractured arm early in fall training camp. So he can be another defensive back that Alabama can get into the rotation against a team that we already said is going to throw the football 60 to 70 times.
He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. Thanks for watching and listening to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Yeah, I was kind of get into this too, staying healthy, and something that Alabama had trouble doing last year. It wasn't just Tua, but it was Moses and McKinney and all these different guys were hurt. This year they've generally stayed healthy. They're getting a player back, but then the Waddle injury to me just seems kind of like a fluke thing. I mean, like his foot just got caught, on a tackle, and that was that.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are going to happen. I mean, it's part of the game. You hate to see it happen to anybody. But I think, Alabama is much more than just a Jalen Waddle team. I mean, going into the season, you look at the overall production of Mac Jones and just how efficient he's been. And I think that's really separated Alabama's offense overall compared to, the rest of the teams in college football, to be honest. Is his efficiency rating is just unbelievable. And we still saw that efficiency rating even without Jalen Waddle in the game. I mean, Mac Jones has distributed the football across the middle of the field, downfield, 25 yards down the field, and he's been superb in doing that. I think it's only going to he's only going to continue that as we move forward, and he still has a ton of weapons on the outside. And then one player that we're not even talking about, and we don't talk about him enough, is Najee Harris. I mean, you look at what he did against Georgia, 31 carries. You look at what he did against Tennessee, 3 touchdowns. I mean, you don't even talk about Najee Harris because the offense is so productive. But leading up to this particular game, we had a call-in show just recently, and some users brought up some great points, is the fact that the catalyst to this offensive explosion is the offensive line. I mean, this is the most talented offensive line in the entire country. Alex Leatherwood and Evan Neal have been doing a fantastic job at the tackle position. And then, of course, everybody's fan favorite, Landon Dickerson, at the center position. I mean, played, one specific play without his helmet. The guy is everything that you would want an Alabama offensive lineman to be. And he's that center, he's the anchor. And I think he's a big reason why Alabama's offense overall continues to be really tough to stop, just overall, and for anyone in college football.
Let's think about the state of Mississippi right now. It feels like Mike Leach is, barely holding on to his program, and that Lane Kiffin is just like about to take off. But then I look at the records, and I've always been told that the records don't lie. And it's like, Ole Miss, you feel like they're making, some progress, but they're still just 1-4. And Mississippi State's 1-3. So they actually have a better record than Ole Miss. But I look at over in the Magnolia State, the state of their football programs, and I feel like with these two coaches that eventually they're going to be good. But Mike Leach is having so much trouble keeping guys right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the backstory is. It'd be kind of interesting to find out what exactly is going on behind the scenes. But I mean, this is a first-year coach, so you come in here with different ideology, and a lot of players are going to exit out when they're not playing. I mean, you're starting to see it happen not only with Mississippi State, but with other programs across the country, including Alabama. I mean, just recently you had Ismail Sopsher, who is a redshirt freshman, enter the NCAA transfer portal. And Nick Saban's talked about this before. I mean, this free agency that has kind of come into college football, if they don't play, they want to exit out. And I think the SEC schedule is going to be difficult for a lot of these younger players to deal with because they're not getting onto the field. Even at Alabama, Nick Saban's really just playing the first team. And you're not seeing a lot of the second tier players get reps. I mean, for example, Javon Baker, we're talking about him. He's a freshman at Alabama. He's only played 2 snaps this entire season. So yeah, we're excited to see him, but we're not really getting to that second tier and third tier teams like we've seen in the past.
He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. All right, you talked about the young players. I feel like this Mississippi State game is an opportunity to see guys like Bryce Young. We saw Bryce Young against Tennessee, and I think that Tennessee's got to be a better program and team right now than Mississippi State. So maybe we'll see, as people are having a good time here at Innisfree, by the way, maybe we'll see, we'll see Baker and we'll see Bryce Young and some of these other young guys.
Yeah, and again, that's rat poison. Nick Saban hates when you start talking about guys who will get in if Alabama is winning the game. Obviously, we're not coaches, so we can talk about whatever we want. And I think you're right. I think if Alabama is able to get on top of Mississippi State, you're going to see some other guys contribute. And we did see Bryce Young, just as you talked about in this last game against Tennessee. I had a good analysis piece on him just recently, breaking down his plays, specifically when he came in the game with 10 minutes left against Tennessee. He was 3 for 5. And I thought he threw 2 very good balls to John Mechie. John Mechie is a guy who continues to step up. And, he should have had his first touchdown, but Slade Bolden did drop that touchdown. But I think Bryce Young is going to be ready when he gets his name called. But right now it's all about Mac Jones. But I do agree with you. I think Alabama needs to work on the depth and start playing some more players across the board. The middle linebackers, it's only Christian Harris. It's only Dylan Moses. We haven't seen Ali Cajo. He's kind of voiced some frustration on social media. You have Joshua McMillan, who's only playing like 2 snaps. Shane Lee, a guy that played over 700 snaps for Alabama last year as a freshman, he's not playing at all. So it's all about the first team this year. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that it's an SEC only schedule. But now is kind of the time when players start to get upset that they're not playing. And you're starting to see that come out on social media. And you're starting to see players enter the NCAA transfer portal. As hard as it is to kind of gauge, Ismail Sopsher is probably not going to be one of the only guys from Alabama that enters the NCAA transfer portal. I think it's just something that we're going to have to deal with.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sonata, or maybe you are an SUV guy like me. You're going to love the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. Go by there and see Barry Buckner and the crew, Mr. Seabass. We call him Mr. Seabass. This guy, he has like his off-duty job is, nurturing all the fish at his giant camp. And it's pretty cool to see, the way that they kind of raise these bass. So we call them sea bass. I actually got that name from the crew that used to be on WTBC in Tuscaloosa for years. Ronnie Corals, my old buddy Ronnie, Big Dave, and Wally. So I remember him being on their show, and it's great to have them as part of our team now. All right, look, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Andrew Bone. There is a huge commitment being announced this weekend. And Alabama got Kool-Aid. That's a guy's name, McKinstry. They got him. But you know what? There's another guy in that secondary that could be coming to Alabama. We're going to talk to Andrew Bone about that when we come back. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show right after this.
Introducing Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Now available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines 2 of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors. 35 25% alcohol by volume.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillispie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide, roll.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Hey, guys, do us a favor. Like, subscribe. When you like and subscribe, it really helps all the hard work that Kyle, Trey, Andrew Bone, and I put into this show each week. And, look, our show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. This segment with Andrew Bone is presented by Hotel Indigo. Got to tell you, man, Hotel Indigo hung out there last night. It was great. They've got the lookout bar at the top. It's fantastic, and just had a great time. It's a luxury hotel in Tuscaloosa in downtown. And one other thing before we talk to Bone, this right here is the Daniel Moore 2021 Fine Art Calendar, paintings of the Saban era from 2007 to 2020. This is a really cool one. I've got Kyle a Tua print coming his way. That's on the back here. We're giving some of these away at the remote, and so we're going to be set to go as we get ready for a huge announcement coming up. We're at Innisfree, and we bring on Andrew Bone. Andrew, first, Trip Rogers, the owner, very disappointed in you for not being here tonight. Very disappointed. You've let us all down.
I know. Trip texted me last night. He wasn't happy with me, but I told him I'll be down for the Auburn game. So we'll hang out then. So he has a copy of my book. He said he thought he gave it to a Georgia fan a few weeks ago, but sent me a text this morning and said he still had it.
Well, that's good. I mean, but if you don't show up again, he may give your book to a Georgia fan.
He might. I would.
Well, this show is brought to you by, with the remote anyway, by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's the new Fireball, man. I mean, we took shots together last time we were in T-Town. All right, but look, let's get into this. And coming up, we're going to do another Screwball shot, but you're not going to be here for that, so I don't want to rub it in your face. But you look nice. Earlier, JaQuincy McKinstry, also known as Kool-Aid, there he is, committed to Alabama. That's a big one for the Tide, right, Bone?
Absolutely. Kool-Aid, the number one player in the state of Alabama, announced his commitment to Alabama last Sunday. We kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case. Of course, that was not the feeling, a few months ago. The feeling was that he was going to go to Auburn, but Alabama just continued to work on, continued to recruit him, and in the end, they ended up winning his commitment. Not necessarily his signature because he hasn't signed yet, but I feel like he's a pretty solid commitment now that he's, this is a guy who's been recruited for the last 3 years. He's gone through the recruiting process, and even though a lot of recruits haven't been able to, really enjoy the recruiting process this year because of the recruiting dead period being extended, and because of COVID and not being able to take official visits or go to games. Kool-Aid's been able to do that. During his junior year, during his sophomore year, he's taken all these visits. He's seen these programs. The schools that were in his top three: Alabama, LSU, Alabama, LSU, and Auburn. All three of those schools, had him on campus multiple times. We always felt like it was going to come down to the in-state schools, and Alabama did a great job recruiting him. He's an elite defensive back. Somebody that can come in and could potentially contribute right away. Alabama's going to possibly lose Patrick Surtain Jr. Next year to the NFL draft. So we'll see if there's a possibility that Kool-Aid comes in and makes an impact early on in his career.
Now, there's another huge announcement coming up that a lot of Alabama fans are curious about. Tell us about Sage and what do you think with him coming up this weekend?
Yeah, Sage Ryan, one of the top defensive backs in the country. Now, Alabama already has 5 defensive back commitments, but, still aiming to get another one on board. And Sage Ryan has, certainly been one of the top overall targets for Alabama, for a long time. And, this is a guy who's an LSU legacy. He's got, 2 uncles who played at LSU, one who's currently on the coaching staff, and Kevin Falk. So that's going to be tough. I mean, that's going to be extremely tough to say no to the LSU Tigers. But then, there's been a lot of buzz, about Alabama over the last few days when he announced his plans. We were actually on our show on Tuesday night when Sage Ryan tweeted that he was going to announce his decision on Halloween. Now, everybody that I spoke with on not just the Alabama side, but the LSU side, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and even this morning, everybody was kind of feeling that this was all Alabama, that, he was going to spurn the home state school, go to Alabama. Alabama had just done a tremendous job recruiting him throughout the entire process. But I would say in the last few hours, we started hearing a lot of buzz about LSU once again. LSU wasn't going to let this one go down without a fight at all. That they have almost pretty much pulled to even, if not taking the lead right now for Sage Ryan heading into that commitment on Saturday morning. He's going to be announcing his decision at noon on Saturday, and we'll be covering it live here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. So be sure to tune into that announcement. But from what we're hearing, I just think as of right now, a lot of momentum starting to shift back towards the home state school, and we not really surprised. I mean, this is a guy who, from the very start of his recruitment, we felt like was an LSU lean. There was no doubt he was going to LSU, and then all of a sudden, Wednesday was probably the first time that I had ever even heard, and even on a little bit on Tuesday night, that Alabama was potentially in the driver's seat for him. But if Alabama's able to pull this off, what a recruiting win it would be for Nick Saban going into not Baton Rouge, but the state of Louisiana, stilling one of the best players in the country. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be extremely tough for Alabama to pull this off. And like I said, the momentum this evening seems like it's shifted back in LSU's favor. We'll see if Alabama may have another final pitch to Sage Ryan before he announces that commitment on Saturday morning.
Let me ask you this, and this is the last question that we have time for, but do you think that when McKinstry committed to Alabama that may have, you start doing the numbers if you're Sage Ryan and you're going, that's a lot of competition? Or do you think that it's, hey, look, I'm family, this is my home state, and even despite all the problems that LSU has right now with scholarship restrictions and NCAA issues, it's still a better fit for him?
Yeah, I don't really think that the numbers right now at Alabama really affect him that much. I think he's always felt like an elite level prospect, somebody that Alabama really wants, and Alabama believes in him. Alabama thinks he's a guy that can come in and contribute right away, contribute early. But I think home state pressure, family pressure, that's tough. That's tough to go against family. We've only seen that happen a few rare occurrences. We saw Rashaan Evans go against the family, a few years ago when he announced for Alabama over Auburn. I know that was extremely tough for his family, and we discussed that in my book. On the chapter with Rashaan about how difficult that was to go to Alabama over Auburn. So I think this is another situation where got a lot of family involved, family who's on the coaching staff at LSU. So it's going to be tough. I mean, and obviously LSU is a great program coming off a national championship. known for defensive back. So it's not, it's not just that he's got the family connection there, or it's a home state. I mean, they're obviously a great program, but he loves Alabama as well. So we'll see what happens. But if I were to make a prediction at this very moment, of course, it could change by tomorrow morning. At this very moment, I'd probably lean more towards LSU at this moment, at this time.
Yeah, but look, Bone, you look good. You look like you've got a big night ahead of you, and I don't want to hold you from that. But thanks for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon, man. Looking sharp.
Thanks, Mick. Have fun with Trip tonight.
I will. I'll make sure that I do a screwball shot for you. All right. How about that?
I'll try to take one where I'm at this evening as well.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Bama Buggies. Bama Buggies is a touchdown for anyone looking for an ATV, a Sea-Doo, motorcycle, side-by-side. Hunting season. Everybody's getting ready for hunting season right now. Bama Buggies has you covered. You need to go by there and gear up for this year's hunting season. Also, I want to remind you guys of this. Two things before we head to break. Like the show. Thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up. If you want to chat. We for those of you that are watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, subscribe and like. It really means a lot to us. We're working very hard. And for those of you guys that are on the radio, go home, get on YouTube, and show your support. You can watch all the shows on there. And we want you to like and subscribe. Kyle does a lot of stuff. He's on all the time. I'm doing more shows. We got Bone on there. Trey's on there. So we're throwing out content for you. Subscribe, like, and schedule shows like this so you don't forget. And also, the next two road shows, we are going to be at the Flora-Bama in Orange Beach. I know. You're jealous. Come down and hang out with us. LSU Friday night, Arkansas Friday night. We're going to be there. They've got live music daily on 3 stages. The Blue Angels are coming for a huge beach show. That's going to be phenomenal. They had the mullet toss last week. And basically what they want you guys to know is that it is open. And in Florida, they don't have the mask restrictions. So there's no COVID restrictions. You can go down there if you feel safe. If that's, if you feel comfortable with it like me, go down and hang out. They're operating at full capacity, back to normal pre-COVID rules. Even though it's right on the border of Florida and Alabama, they go by Florida guidelines. So they're back, open 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. every single day. Free bingo Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. Come get your bushwhackers and watch your football. They've got a ton of TVs. FloraBama.com, or check them out on Facebook. All right, when we come back, we're going to have a lot of fun. This is our fun segment. We're going to have a cigar. We're going to have our tailgating with Mick and Brick. All that coming up. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show returns after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide. Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful, but switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Conifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Buggies.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
All right, welcome back to Innisfree. We're hanging out. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. What we're going to do right now is we're going to send it to the Mick and Brick beer review. We're going to try that new Yuengling Hershey Porter, and then when we come back, we're going to do a shot. So you guys just sit tight, enjoy the Mick and Brick beer review, and then I'll talk to you in a second.
Everybody, it's time for your favorite show, and ours, it's time for Beer with Mick and Brick, and we got Captain Jay in the house. This is all part of the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're brought to you by Yuengling Lager. You may be watching on the Bama Insider Rivals Alabama YouTube channel, or maybe you're listening on Jocks 2, 100.5, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, all around the Central State. Maybe you're watching or listening to the podcast right now. But we have got a very great beer for you today. I'm absolutely fired up about the Yuengling Hershey Porter, America's oldest brewery. I mean, you're talking about two brands, Brickin', that are like Alabama football. They've been winning for a long time.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Hershey.
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, man, look at this.
I mean, come on, it's like mayonnaise and bananas. I mean, that's what this is like.
Mayonnaise and bananas. I'm going to disagree with that. But look, this beer is...
There are people listening to this show that know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Elvis Presley, right? Maybe put some bacon on there. What I love about this beer is that Yuengling released this last year, collaboration with Hershey in the Pennsylvania area, of course. It's a Pennsylvania beer. Hershey is from Hershey, PA. Yuengling from Pottsville, PA. We finally get it down here. It's a very sought-after beer. You can get it in Alabama,
Look,
Georgia.
guys, he sent me a video. He sent me a picture today. He had a case of this stuff in his shopping cart. You know, I'm sitting there going, why do you need so much? He says, because you can't find it anywhere. So if you can find it, go out and get it.
Go get this. But what we're going to do for you right now is that we're going to tell you about it and we're going to try it at the same time. Bricken, give us some information on this beer.
The pressure is palpable here, Mick. I mean, I can't even believe that you put this kind of pressure on me in national TV.
Look, 3 Alabama degrees, all here, and I'm going to do what I did so well in college. 4 Alabama degrees. 2 with one person. I'm going to do what I did and pour this beer.
Look, at this point in time, everybody knows that Yuengling's America's oldest brewery. So, I don't even have to really say that much. Hershey, it's America's most iconic chocolate. This is a collaboration for the first time in their history to provide a once-in-a-lifetime creation for their loyal fans to enjoy. America loves beer, and America loves chocolate, so Yuengling and Hershey joined forces to bring the best of both worlds to their fans with a limited edition Yuengling Hershey's Chocolate Porter. This collaboration gives consumers the opportunity to savor and indulge in the unique beer from America's oldest brewery and America's most beloved chocolate brand. Yuengling Hershey's Chocolate Porter is a fresh take on Yuengling's 200-year-old dark brewed porter. Don't miss your chance to enjoy for a limited time America's #1 craft brewery, Yuengling. Come together with America's most iconic chocolate brand, Hershey's. For the first time ever collaboration, Yuengling Hershey's Chocolate Porter. Well, let's do it.
I can't wait.
4.7% alcohol, guys.
Take a smell of that.
Oh, man.
I know, I'm telling you. And I want to say this right now. Roll Tide, everybody.
Look, we've been big fans of porters on this show.
We have. This is my kind of beer right here. And this right here is my beer.
Oh, man,
it's got
very
great
good.
smell.
It's very good.
These are fresh.
Yeah.
You taste it. It's it doesn't have a lot of carbonation. It's black. You can't see through the other side. It's definitely a porter. Yuengling has an excellent porter. We've graded those on the show, but by putting just a touch of Hershey chocolate in
perfect.
it's
great.
It's got just enough. Like they didn't overdo
Look,
it.
It's as good as any porter I've ever had. I mean, this is a
Me
great
too.
beer. This is a great beer. And we on this show, we've done a lot of different beers, a lot of different porters. This is a beer that if you get your opportunity, get a chance to put your hands on, do it.
Yeah, look, we did a Dunkin' Donuts beer. It was terrible. Like it tasted too chocolatey. You know, like it just didn't taste right. Like this is exactly the amount of Hershey that you would want in a porter, but it's still a porter. They didn't overdo it. Like if I'm giving a score on a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 5 to me.
Well, it's a great beer.
This is exactly what I want in a porter, and I'm proud to share it with you guys.
That's right. It's absolutely great beer. I'm glad that we're getting an opportunity to try it. All of the fans, all the groupies out there need to get out there and try it.
Try this, and look, big game against Mississippi State this week. Mike Leach, I've got a couple beers for you. I know Nick Saban would probably want a Little Debbie beer. Maybe that's next for Yuengling. But look, guys, thanks for watching. And Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. And look, this is the best segment on the show because this is like kind of that fun segment. Our guy Trip Rogers is here. He's the owner of Innisfree. That's where we're hanging out. We got the Screwball peanut butter whiskey with the Yoo-Hoo, which by the way is a peanut butter cup. We need one more person. We got 4 shots here. So like this is what we're doing. We're gonna hand her one right there. She's gonna get in on this. And I'm telling you, this is what tailgating's all about. This is an easy tailgating.
It all starts at Innisfree.
Yeah, it all starts at Innisfree. All right, guys.
Cheers. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Wow, that does taste right in time for Halloween. No, you can. It's an easy shot to make. And like I said, all they did was just pour some of this on top of Screwball. Sorry, Kyle, that you're not here. And now we'll throw it to our next segment where we're smoking cigars.
Where are you going? Well, that Auburn game, I'm going to stay overnight. I want to hang out after.
I know you're feeling really good because Tennessee week was another huge success for you guys.
It was big. It was very big. It was a Dixie enormous event.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what you want too. Like Alabama won their 14th straight. I know we're supposed to be talking about Mississippi State, but can we just go back for a second? It was a good week.
I had a great week.
Great week.
I had a fantastic week.
Like this, very high.
Like this.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And I mean, a lot of people smoked their victory cigars. And you can get your victory cigars right here for Mississippi State. Alabama's a 31-point favorite. So I'm figuring that, I mean, as you sit over there and smoke a cigar, and I've done that a few times already tonight. I know everybody's watching this now. I mean, this is obviously recorded, but you can come by and get your victory cigars at R&R.
I might just light my cigar up at the beginning of the game. I mean, dude, this one's in the bag. I mean, Mississippi State is without, but I think they had half their team hit the transfer portal in the last 2 days.
Yeah, that's not good.
Do they even have a full 2 deep on both sides? I mean,
well, everybody was like, Shavers, he transferred from Alabama. Yeah. We're going to get to see him against the Tide, and then he rolls out before we play him.
What'd he do?
Yeah, he had that game against LSU. But look, Alabama's obviously at the receiver spot. I mean, they're not going to have Shavers, and they're not going to have Waddle now. So you're looking at Bolden, you're looking at Baker, some guys that we haven't seen a lot.
I really feel like Shavers isn't even missed on the wide receiver position. I am a huge Slade Bolden fan.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I've been a Slade Bolden stan when he was a 3-star coming out of high school. When he was a quarterback, I remember when he played running back last year. I think the guy is the next Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. I am all in on the Slade Bolden train.
Yeah.
I love the kid. I think he's awesome. I wish he wore the number 10 like all scrappy gym rat wide receivers do. But he has to wear number 18 because the GOAT, the greatest quarterback in the history of Alabama football, wears number 10. And I'm not talking about the guy with the chest tattoo that's awful. I am talking about Mac Jones.
You're Mac Jones. You're on the Mac Jones. You think he's better than all of them?
I'm all in on the Mac Jones train.
We're at R&R Cigar. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Whether you're watching on our YouTube channel or maybe you're listening on Jocks 2, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, getting ready for Alabama and Mississippi State. The big talk right now is Trevor Lawrence has COVID. He's not going to be in for Clemson. And look, there's a very big Heisman race going on. And I feel like Alabama has Mac Jones and Najee Harris both kind of competing for this award right now. With Trevor.
I feel like Mac Jones and Najee Harris are the two Heisman favorites right now. I don't like this whole everybody's talking about Trevor Lawrence, and Mac Jones is just an afterthought. Mac Jones has better stats. He's got more touchdowns. I think he's got a higher completion percentage. He has thrown for, I think, more yards than Trevor. He's going to have 2 extra games if Trevor misses BC and Notre Dame.
Up in the air still.
We don't know. I'm sure they're going to do what Alabama did with Saban to make sure Trevor plays for Notre Dame. And but I'm tired of this whole. I'm tired of hearing, well, Mac Jones is a system quarterback.
I haven't heard that though.
I've heard a lot of people.
Okay, I haven't heard that.
It's a lot of people on Twitter.com.
Yeah, right.
That. But I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing this. Mac Jones isn't a first-round draft pick. Like, what has Mac Jones not done at Alabama where you have Jalen Hurts was a second-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And Tua obviously was a first-round draft pick, and Mac Jones is making Tua look like a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
If he was at Alabama right now. I mean, when did Tua throw for back-to-back games over 400 yards?
When did anyone do it? I mean, didn't he do it 3 straight games?
Yeah, and I mean, and we're talking about during what's going on right now with all the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
Without having all of the benefits of an off-season, fall camp, spring camp, summer camp, and everything else they've had to do. And this kid has laid it out every game. And last year, when the defense didn't show up, Alabama wasn't able to win those games. This year, when the defense hasn't shown up, Mac Jones has bailed Alabama out.
He's like Joe Burrow. What are you smoking over there?
I got a Padron and a Rosario. This is what the coaches smoked after the Alabama versus Tennessee game.
That was the 14th straight win victory cigar?
14th straight, yeah. This was
Look
what
at
the
that
coaches
thing.
had.
Looks,
we need to pull up that picture of Mac Jones smoking the upsetter, Django, after the Alabama and
where'd they get
Tennessee
those
game.
from? Maybe right here?
I heard from a reliable source that they came from the mansion.
Okay, well, the mansion.
That's what I was.
Well, a reliable source. There you go. Reagan, we hung out with Reagan last night, Kyle, and talked a lot of football. He was reminding us that Alabama beat Tennessee and that, maybe some of the guys came there to pick up their victory cigars. It was pretty cool. I mean, like, a huge win for Alabama anytime they can beat Tennessee to make it 14 straight. And I'm really glad that Reagan, as I kind of adjust my seat, is doing well over there at the Cigar Mansion. Let me tell you, R&R Cigar invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. Best cigar collection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10 if you tell them Mick sent you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home to Suites, or thecigarmansion.com. Yeah, we've had fun. I mean, like, this is a super fun segment, and it's hard to believe that the first hour of this show is just about in the books. It's amazing. Coming up next in the second hour, a guy that used to come on my college radio show at the University of Alabama. He was the host of Southern Sports Tonight. I call him the godfather of SEC sports. Max Howe is going to join us. When we come back, Bama takes on Mississippi State. We get you ready for kickoff. Bama beat Tennessee last week for their 14th straight over the Vols. They're looking to do it the same thing, win 14 straight over Mississippi State. We're going to talk SEC football and more with Max Howe when we come back. He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, Alabama's rival site, whether you're listening on Jocks 2 or you're watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Like us, subscribe, and schedule. We'll be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Tailgate time at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Now 0% APR for 72 months on our most popular SUVs. New 2021 Tucson and 2020 Santa Fe. No interest for 6 years. Plus our million-mile warranty, no charge. And America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and owner assurance. Corner of Skyland and Hargrove. TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Available on select models. 0% APR based on 72 monthly payments of $1,389 for $1,000 financed with approved credit. All sales plus tax, title, and registration. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Conifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availabilities.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. Show's brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And our remote here today is presented by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. 1 hour in the books. We start the second hour. We're going to break down the SEC, and that's presented by our friends at Hotel Indigo. It really is great to talk about all of the things that we have going on here in Tuscaloosa. Last week we were in Tennessee, Sevierville, Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you, there's so many cool things to do there as well. So as you start to plan for the holidays, Sevierville has 4 different self-guided fall tours that will take you on the back roads, highlight historical points of interest, and all those beautiful fall views. You can find maps, videos, and more at visitsevierville.com/fall. So that's what we got going on now. Winterfest is there as well. And that starts on November 13th through February 22nd. So that is just a whole lot of fun up there. Don't forget to like and subscribe as you listen to the show on radio in Birmingham, on Jocks 2, 100.5 in Tuscaloosa. Get to your computer. Go to our website, BamaInsider.com, or go to our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The Bama Insider YouTube channel. We got a lot of great programming. Kyle has a lot of great programming. I am doing this show and other stuff. Trey's on there. We appreciate all of your guys' support. All right. With that said, I'm really excited to bring this guy on the show, Max Howe. He coached Emmitt Smith in high school. He was a recruiting coordinator at Florida State and Ole Miss. But I know him from his many years of basically providing SEC radio content. When I was a college student at Alabama, he was the host of Southern Sports Tonight. You know him now from Game Day Sports Radio. But when I was a student, Max Howe, you came on my show with me as just a little Alabama WVUA student, and you did it every week. And I got to tell you, man, I've been a huge fan of yours. It's great to introduce you to Kyle, and thanks for coming on our show. How you been?
I've been great. I really appreciate the opportunity. That was years ago. I spent about 32 on the field and about 25 in the radio business in Atlanta and all across the Southeast. But I had a great career. I was a fortunate guy. Still do about 8 to 10 radio shows a week during college football season. So, in fact, I'm on in Tuscaloosa with Whip and Barry every Monday and Thursday mornings. So it's a small world sometimes.
Well, no doubt about it. And, I mean, you were doing the show, and Alabama stunk at football, when I was here. And now all of a sudden they're like this big dynasty. I mean, what's happened, right? I mean, we were talking, and it was like, Mike Dubose. And I want to say I think it was Mike Dubose was head coach the last time that I was doing that show in college. Look at this program now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look, Mal Moore had a vision. They sought out Nick Saban and found him and brought him in, and certainly, right place, right time. Coach Saban's done a remarkable job, and I think the history books will reflect that. I can't say enough. I've had really good friends that's been on that staff off and on through his years. I hate to say, but he does very few things wrong. Recruits at the highest level, gets the kids to come to campus. They all fit into his program. And the positive thing that I've noticed about his program through the years, when they absolutely find an athlete that can't quite make it or they'll find a way to move him out of the program, but they usually find a place to place him. And because they need to go back to that school or that junior college, wherever they got him from, and recruit again. So I think the total composite of what Alabama's been able to do is certainly, set records in wins and losses if nothing else. So I'm happy to be a part of that now as far as talking about it. And I can't thank you guys enough for having me on.
Hey, Max, really good to meet you. Kyle Henderson here at Bama Insider. We really appreciate your time this evening. When you look at this Alabama football team, Nick Saban recently said it's all about the offense. I mean, it used to be all about the defense and the power run game, and now you're seeing Alabama, score almost into the 50s weekly. I mean, is that surprising to you to see Alabama have such a dynamic offense, but to be struggling on defense? I mean, what's kind of your take on this new age of college football, so to speak?
Well, I think it certainly, guys, is all about recruiting, about getting the great players there. And in offense, the strength of offense and defense is because of the rules cycle. They run in cycles. And certainly right now it favors the offense. And that's another thing for me as I observe the program. Coach Saban just found a way. He goes out and certainly he didn't deliberately not recruit defensive players. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to say, the emphasis has been on high scoring, and we go back and look. Ticket sales based on high scoring, television ratings are based on high scoring, and that's what he's been able to do. I don't by any means think he neglects the defense, because that's been his forte since he's been coaching. But they play well enough on defense to get the ball, to get the other team 3 and out many times, get the ball back in the offense's hands. Of course, we know what happens when they start throwing it around, and running backs like Najee Harris and Robinson Kidd, and I can just go down the roster for you.
He's Max Howe. You know him from years of being the godfather of SEC radio. With Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Max, you've seen dynasties before. How do you compare this Alabama dynasty to what Florida State had with Bobby Bowden and some of the other great programs, Miami maybe, Nebraska, back in the 90s? Compare all of those together, and maybe even going all the way back to when Bear Bryant was here. How do you stack this Alabama dynasty up to the best that's ever been?
Yeah, I think it's as good as any of those guys. I know I was at Florida State the first 2 years that we were in the top 5. I went there the year before in '87, coming off of, I was coaching Emmett at Escambia High School. We had, I think the 2 years I was there, we had 18 and 19 Division I players. University of Florida took 7 players off one high school team. I went straight from there to Florida State, and Coach Bowden just assembled that. We started off the '88 season #1 in the country, get beat by Miami, and we win the rest of them in a row. And then after that, they had a couple of national championships and maintained that. And I think a lot of people forget, they really, we can't go back to Nebraska, back to Texas, and there've been some great dynasties across Oklahoma. Have had great dynasties through the, but it is going to run in cycles. I think to identify, though, you look at Coach Bowden, he was 14 consecutive years in the top 5. That's pretty hard to acknowledge that you're going. Somebody's going to beat that record. So I think, but the rules were different. Here's the thing, and I've read all and try to keep up with the records that Coach Bryant had at Alabama. Then we'll go back to, what Coach Saban's been able to do. But Coach Saban's had to recruit at a different level. With Coach Bryant there, when he first got there, because I was recruited by Alabama, I can tell you, there was an unlimited number. The graduating class, I graduated from high school in 1958. Coming out of Prattville, Alabama. Well, at that particular time, I actually ended up, that's a long story, how I didn't go to Alabama and ended up where I went to Auburn. But the fact is this, guys, that it was 111 in my recruiting class because there were no numbers. But what's so ironic about that, even in those days, the purging took place. I think out of the 111, maybe 10 or 12 graduated. And that's about the rate that they go now with 25 as far as recruiting. But I say that to tell you the answer to your question. I think Coach Saban's been able to do it under different circumstances than many of the other people. The rules are different now, and he's still been able to maintain. And no one ever thought, really. Stability in coaching staffs usually has been the hallmark of success. Coach Saban's proven that's not the case. He's got a system and a plan, and we know, guys, that those assistant coaches want to come to Alabama just to get Alabama on their resume so they go get them a head job or go to the NFL or wherever. But, the fact is he's been able to accomplish what he's been able to do under the current rules. He plays by the rules, and he still wins. He wins at a very high level.
Hey, Max, I have a question for you, and I know it's a hypothetical question, and you're probably not going to like this one, just like Nick Saban doesn't like the hypotheticals. But as you look at Nick Saban, he's going to be 69 on that'll be on October 31st. How much longer do you see Nick Saban coaching for the Alabama Crimson Tide? It's a question that I think is on the back of everybody's minds. I mean, I think from my vantage point, with him sitting out those couple days against Georgia, it seems like he almost had a rejuvenation. He's not ready to be home watching the Crimson Tide. What about you? Kind of when you look at his career now that he's 69 years old?
Well, you go back, I think there's going to be two things. One, he's dedicated his life to the industry, to the sport. He doesn't have a lot of hobbies. has his home in Georgia, stays on the boat a lot, doesn't play golf, doesn't do a lot of things. Maybe he would end up if he decided. I think his health will play a major role. He appears to stay extremely healthy and take care of himself. And I think he'll be the first one, guys, to say, hey, it's time for me to go. I don't think he's going to get the pressure from the university or from alumni, whatever. I think he'll make that decision. Normally, after about 70, 71 or 2, your endurance slows down. And coaching college football now that's basically you have to be on the job 24/7, and it's a year-round job now as opposed to years past when it wasn't. So I to answer your question, I'm not trying to be vague and really skirt the issue, but the fact is I think he'll make a decision. He'll know himself when it's time for him to go, because the last thing he ever wants to do is have the program fall way off before he steps away. If he sees it coming, I think he steps away while he's on top.
Max, it has been an absolute pleasure to be back on the air with you after all these years, and you still got it, man. Let's do it again real soon.
Hey, I'm always available, and this is always a good time for me. I'm usually home by 6 o'clock, and I certainly appreciate you guys, and certainly I know your fan base does as well. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. I'm a huge Max Howe fan. I mean, I'm telling you guys that right now. I don't say that a whole lot, but they don't get any better at talking SEC football, and this was the guy that was doing it before there was a show in every town. I mean, I'm going back into the 90s when it was his show. You would get that radio and you would listen to it, and there's a lot of people that know what I'm talking about. Hey, guys, Pearl River Resort and the Timeout Sports Lounge in Philadelphia gives you a great place to go play the odds. Coming up next, we're going to make our picks. We'll have Leonard Saluzer. We'll have LT from Jocks Roundtable and Lance's Lock. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When it comes to protecting all your stuff, wouldn't it be great to have one place that protects it all? Here's some good news. Tuscaloosa and Northport Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer is the only insurance agent you need to help keep tabs on protection for all your stuff. Everything from your home, car, boat, to your motorcycle, RV, snowmobile, and even ATV. Stop by Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, or give Andrew a call at 205-722-9201. Are you in good hands?
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Introducing Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Now available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casinos, Pearl River Resort Properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillispie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide, roll.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Leonard's Halloween Prognostication. The little smart pill machine dropped a cylinder last week, finishing at 9-5. Let's take a look at who gets treats and who gets tricked this Saturday. Portions of this program brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. Spread your wings. Ohio State versus Penn State. The Buckeyes leave the Columbus Nut House, hoping to give the homestanding Happy Valley boys a real trick. The Nittany Lions are coming off an upset loss to Indiana, while Brutus Buckeye destroyed a Cornhusker. The early line on Sunday morning was Ohio State an 8-point favorite. The boys from Vegas made a 3.5-point move on Monday, and Brutus Buckeye went to an 11.5-point favorite. The Buckeye offense is powerful and will test the Cats at home. Can they rebound from their upset loss to Indiana? The boys from Columbus have their eye on the number one spot in the nation and won't be giving out any treats Saturday night. Leonard's loser, Penn State. Memphis versus Cincinnati. The Bearcats host the Tigers for a Saturday nooner in a rematch of last year's AAC championship game. Maybe it's time to put the number 9 Bearcats under the playoff microscope. Cincinnati is coming off a big road win against a ranked Mustang. The Cats' defense looked good, and quarterback Desmond Ryder rushed for a career-high 179 yards, 3 TDs, while pitching 13 for 21 and a TD and no turnovers. The boys from Graceland could be in for a long afternoon if Ritter has an encore performance. Leonard's loser, Memphis. LSU versus Auburn. Mike the Tiger heads to Jordan-Hare for a Saturday afternoon SEC slobberknocker. Neither team have lived up to the preseason expectations, posting 4 losses. The War Eagles eked out a last-minute victory against Ole Miss last week, while Coach O wrung a chicken neck in Columbia. Auburn quarterback Bo Nix had a superb game last week and will have to make it 2 in a row. Leonard's loser in a close one, Auburn. Mississippi State versus Alabama. The Bulldogs came out of the grade in their defeat of LSU opening day, but alas, they have dropped 3 in a row. Bullpuppy coach Mike Leach best bring his air raid performance to Bryant Denny for any chance in this one. The Red Effluents will be handing out tricks and could get ugly. Leonard's loser, Mississippi State. Well, fans, that does it for the Halloween prognostications. May you collect all the goodies you want, just send Leonard half of it. And remember, if you can't wear a smile, wear a white hat, so we can tell you from the bad guys. Get me out of here, Percy.
Always great to have Leonard's Loser on our pick segment, brought to you by our friends at Pearl River Resort. And I've got these here from Pearl River, $50 if you're a new member, $50 in cash. Kyle, if you haven't been there yet, Trey, all you got to do, $50. I can't tell you how to bet that, but I'm telling you that it's available right here as well. All right, look, I've been dominating the pick segment. I don't know that I can through 5 games. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I got to tell you that Lance Taylor from Jocks in Birmingham, part of the Jocks Roundtable, and also the man behind Lance'sLock.com has been helping us out. We talked to him again today, so pay close attention going into our pick segment after Lance gives us his thoughts. Big reasons why we've had so much success is that we've had this guy right here, Lance Taylor on. You know him from the Jocks Roundtable, biggest show in the state of Alabama. But Lance's Lock is his website. And if you're into gambling, if you like playing the odds, if you're going to Philadelphia to Pearl River Resort, you need to check out this site. Lance kills it on there. He's given us just information galore on picking these games, and no one knows it better than you, LT. Thanks for coming on the show.
Mick, I need to lean on you. I thought we had an incredible weekend coming off of 13-4. You were 14-4. So, but I do appreciate the intro there. Yeah, we give it a shot. This is year number 6 for us, and we're coming off a 5-2 in the NFL and an 8-2 in college. Depending on where you got some of the plays, we technically went 8-2-2. We do our final numbers based on scoresandodds.com. We've got to have some kind of barometer. And 2 of our games ended up being pushes there, but the majority of people that I talked to got those at better numbers or even bought a half on some of those. So, some people were actually 10-2, but we'll take an 8-2.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really amazing. But as we go through these games, and we just kind of help, want your help picking these games that we're picking on the show. But you cover a ton of games, and what's really blown me away, and I'm going to get to this game later on down the line of the ones that we're picking, are the obscure games that, you gave me the insight on that Marshall La Tech game. I'm going, okay, this guy knows about all of these contests. So, all right, let me start with the game that, people in Alabama are paying close attention to. LSU, they're giving up 3 points at Auburn. Both of these teams have been, kind of up and down. Auburn's found a way to win, and LSU has been, less than stellar. But at times they look pretty good.
I think people would categorize Auburn as probably lucky when you look at 3 of those games, starting Kentucky, that final drive for Kentucky at the end of the first half, Arkansas, the blown whistle and the non-fumble call, which would have ultimately cost Auburn that game against Arkansas. And then last week, the Sean Shivers, fingertip hits the ball there. That should have been an Ole Miss touchdown. And in my opinion, that game's probably over there. So Auburn really fortunate to be in the spot they're in. We backed LSU -4 last week against South Carolina. People thought we were crazy for that. TJ Finley comes out, has a great game, freshman quarterback. It looks like he's going to get the start again. What I think is interesting is LSU's only a 4-point favorite last week at home against South Carolina. Now they're a 3-point road favorite, one of the toughest venues, albeit I know you're not at max capacity with COVID, but still a difficult place to play in Jordan-Hare. And Bo Nix seems to be a different quarterback from, playing at Jordan-Hare to playing on the road. I loved what Steve Ensminger did with this offense last week because he put Finley in positions to win. Finley only really made the one mistake, and the balance of the offense, their ability to run the football. I think what you're going to get with Auburn is a lot of close games this year. I've just got a feeling the road favorite gets the win here. LSU's won 3 straight in this series, all by 4 or less, including last year. But I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to take LSU here.
Lance Taylor from Jocks. Lance's Lock. You need to check that out if you're picking games. That's what we're doing right here, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. All right. Ohio State, they absolutely crushed Nebraska. I'm kind of pulling for Nebraska, LT, because they wanted to play football so bad. It didn't feel like the entire Big Ten was into playing football like them. Scott Frost and, of course, their governor and everything else over there. They got beat really bad last week by Ohio State. It's a good Ohio State team. This week they take on a banged-up Penn State team. Penn State is at home, and they're getting 12 points. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, well, I actually backed Indiana. It was one of my big upset specials last week. And Indiana didn't play well. I give Tom Allen a lot of credit. They find a way to come back with that final drive, tie it up, go for 2. It goes to overtime. Whether or not Michael Penix got in, didn't play his best game. He's still 6-1 now as the starting quarterback for the Hoosiers. They get the win there. Penn State couldn't have played worse, Mick. 2 fumbles, an interception, a muff punt, fumbled kickoff. They were completely awful. Clock management was terrible. For them not to take a knee at the end of regulation, which would have guaranteed them the win when you looked at the clock, was just awful and inexcusable, and that's all on James Franklin. But now this number's 12.5, and Ohio State did look the part of what everybody has said is one of the elite teams of college football. But if this game would have been last week, if it would have opened the Big Ten season, Penn State would have only been a 7-point underdog. So I think they're going to clean a lot of these mistakes up, and I think you're getting a lot of value here. I know Ohio State is a team that has won 13 consecutive Big Ten games, all by double digits. But I like Penn State in this spot. I think they keep it close. I think Ohio State ultimately wins this game, but I think Sean Clifford is good enough if he can clean up the mistakes that this will be a really interesting game.
This is a game that I'm really excited about hearing your take on. Memphis at number 7, Cincinnati, or as some people from the state call it, Cincinnati, which is kind of weird. But look, it's a 7-point Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a favored by 7. You know, they're kind of one of those teams that's hovering under the radar right now. This is a trap game maybe for them, or maybe this is one of the biggest games they have on their schedule, but they really need this if they're going to be one of those teams that contends for one of the big bowl games or maybe even the college football playoff.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when you say the college football playoff, but I agree. I mean, they're a top 10 team right now. You saw the destruction against SMU last week. If they go 10-0, win the AAC, depending on what else happens, especially in the Pac-12 or the Big Ten, I think Luke Fickell and Cincinnati could get in here. You know, I go back last week. I left that game alone. Honestly, you know, I try to give you guys full transparency. I thought about playing SMU, and thank God we didn't. You know, Cincinnati, Desmond Ridder with his legs, that was the difference last week. They didn't play great football. They had twice as many penalties as SMU, twice as many turnovers, and they still win the game going away. You look at this Memphis team, though, Brady White is a guy that's got a ton of experience. It's a team that can put up some points. Your biggest fear is Cincinnati running the football, but when you look at this Memphis Tiger defense, they're 34th nationally against the rush. They've only allowed 8 rushing touchdowns through 5 games. I think they can keep this thing close. I think Cincinnati, this is kind of, you know, Ohio State, Penn State all over again. I think Cincinnati wins the game, but I don't think they cover. I like the dog here. I'm playing Memphis plus the points.
Take the points, right? And that's kind of a theme this week. I feel what you're doing right here. All right, look. This is what I'm going to call dealer's choice. You get to either pick Alabama and Mississippi State, or you can give us a lock of the week. You can pick a game that is just off the wall or something else. You tell me which one, but you get to pick one more game and tell us about it.
Okay, well, I will touch Alabama, Mississippi State. I think finally Vegas has got this number inflated where it needs to be. Mick last week was not enough points. That was one of our losses. We took Tennessee. I thought it was kind of a fishy number at 21.5. Obviously, that didn't come true. I think about 90% of the public was on Alabama. They roll. But that's a tough game for me because I think the number's about right. I would totally stay away from that game. I'm going to go in the Big 12. Their one hope for the college football playoff is Oklahoma State. Their defense has been legitimate. It's fourth best overall defense in college football. But I like Texas and Sam Ehlinger coming in. They're catching 3.5. I think offensively they outscore Mike Gundy. I think finally Oklahoma State's real defense shows up here, and I think Ehlinger and the offense, they're able to move. I like Texas plus 3.5.
Lance is locked. That's where you can go and get all of his picks. You're going over to Choctaw, Mississippi. You're going to Pearl River Resort. You need to make sure that you go to the website and let him help you make your picks like I have. I'm 14-4 right now, but I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for LT. Thanks for coming on the show.
Mick, always fun, man. You guys enjoy the games this weekend. Good luck. Again, lanceslog.com. We appreciate all the support.
All right, there we go. Now we're set up for as I bring Trey here at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa, getting you ready for Alabama and Mississippi State. All right, Trey's on. Kyle, you're there. Trey's going to give us the updated standings. First off, welcome to Innisfree.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I mean, this is an experience. You know, Kyle's studio is unbelievable. Our BamaInsider studio is incredible. But being out and about here in the scene has been awesome. You know, Kyle, I think the real reason I came here tonight is actually to take a look at Mick's notes, get behind the scenes here, see what he's up to. Because he said it, 14-4 now. We got to do some catching up. Gained a game on us this week. Standings-wise, Mick is now in first place with 14-4. Kyle's at 12-6.
Because I went 4-0 last week. I went 4-0 last week.
An undefeated week.
Come on, that never happens.
No. Kyle's at 12-6 now. I'm sitting at the bottom at 8-10. Kyle with a 3-1 week. I think I had a 2-2 week to hold steady there, but we're still struggling.
That's
Mick's
a good week.
Killing it.
Yeah, that's a good week for you.
Good week all around. I think a little bit of an easier week, but some good games this time around. Penn State, Ohio State, we got some fun ones. Let's get to it.
All right, so what's the standings now? I got a 2-game lead on Kyle.
Up,
Kyle,
yep.
You're supposed to fall apart when when someone has a 4-0 week. I need you to go 0-4, but you're still in the rearview mirror. All right, let's do our games again. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort. $50 free play available. If you're a new member, come by to the table here at Innisfree. You got some cards. You can go on their website as well. But you got Silver Star Casino, and then you got the Golden Moon, and you got the Timeout Sports Lounge. So, all right, LSU is a 2-point favorite at Auburn. I'm going to let you go first, Kyle. This, to me, is a tough one.
You know, every week it seems like Auburn gets something handed to them by the officials, right? It's like one week after another. I think LSU has somehow found themselves. I don't know exactly what that means. I think LSU is able to go into Auburn, and I think it's going to probably come down to the wire, but I'm taking LSU in this game. I think that LSU is quite simply the better team. I don't know how good either team really is. I know they'll both play Alabama well, but definitely taking LSU in this one.
All right, Trey.
What a weird Auburn team this year. I mean, you know, they're winning games, but it's really been a horseshoe kind of luck wins for this team throughout the season. But I'm still, you know, not sold at all on LSU. You said it, Kyle, they've improved. They've come along. This LSU is trying to redefine, you know, what they have this season. But I think at the end of the day, 2 points to Auburn. I think they're at like plus, you know, 180 or something even. Give me the Tigers and the Auburn Tigers at that. I think they roll in this one. It's going to be a great game, though. Always a fun one in this rivalry. What do you have, Mick?
Well, look, man. I mean, I don't want to go with you, Trey, because you've been terrible at gambling, and Kyle's been better. But I'm going to tell you that I agree. I mean, like LSU's, they lost to Missouri, and Auburn has something in their corner that no other team in the SEC has, and that is Auburn Jesus. And every time that the Auburn Tigers are down and they're ready to lose, Auburn Jesus pops up and some kind of big play happens for them. I don't even know how they're going to do it. I don't know how the officials are going to do it to help them out. Lane Kiffin got fined over saying that out loud. Yeah. We can say whatever we want. The officiating has been awful against the teams playing Auburn, and that'll continue. I'm taking the Tigers and Auburn Jesus. Give me the 2 points. The Auburn Jesus. All right, second game, guys. Ohio State is at Penn State, and it's an 8-point spread. Penn State is the underdog at home to Ohio State, and I'll let you go first, Trey.
This is a great rivalry in the Big Ten every year, and you know this is a Penn State team that's kind of had Ohio State's number over the last half decade. They've won, you know, 2 or 3 of these against the Buckeyes, but this is an Ohio State team that's elite. There's 3 teams in college football right now that are elite, and Ohio State is one of them. You know, you could even say they're the second best team, maybe even the best team in college football right now. Justin Fields looked excellent week 1. Weird season, them getting into it so late, but you know, I think they keep this steam rolling. Penn State losing to Indiana. Come on. 8 points, maybe 14 points. I got the Buckeyes rolling in this one.
Yeah, look, everybody's trying to convince me to take Penn State, but I'm not taking Penn State because I just can't do it. Like I'm looking at Penn State and I'm saying, you know, you guys lost to Indiana. I know you raced down the field, up and down the field, but when it mattered, even the touchdown that you lost on or the conversion or whatever, it didn't look like it was good to me, but you still lost. Ohio State is a team on a mission. They got Justin Fields. They got 7 5-star players in their starting lineup. I'm taking them. I'm giving up the 8 on the road, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. What about you, Kyle?
I think I'm going to join. You know, I think when you look at this particular game, I think, you know, these 2 teams just started out. I think Ohio State, from what I saw against Nebraska, I mean, they're the Ohio State that I thought they were going to be. Justin Fields was magnificent against you know, Nebraska. I think Penn State, even though they struggled, I think they're going to be a better team. I mean, that's just, those games sometimes happen. I would be more less confident if the game, you know, had the full capacity. You know, Happy Valley gets completely rocking for a game like this. Take all the fans out of it. I think Ohio State is quite simply the better team once again, and I'll take those points. I wouldn't be surprised if we miss on this one, but I think Ohio State, you know, they're clearly one of those teams that I think can challenge the Clemsons, the Alabama of the world, and I think Justin Fields comes out and proves that again tomorrow.
You're listening to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show from Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Or maybe you're listening on Jocks 2, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and the state of Alabama. We appreciate that. Or maybe you're listening to the podcast right now. However you're getting it, we're doing our picks, and we appreciate you guys. All right, Memphis is at number 7, Cincinnati. Somehow you got the spread at 4. And this is so easy to me. Like, I'm taking Cincinnati. I was going to take Cincinnati if the spread was like 8. I might take them if the spread was 10. This isn't last year's Memphis team. This is a different team. Cincinnati has the Cincinnati-style chili, which almost to me, if you've ever been there before, it kind of reminds me more of like spaghetti than it's got like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and look, I'm not saying that Memphis barbecue isn't great, but when you have that Cincinnati chili, it's kind of starting to get cold outside. That's a much better food this time of year. All right, Kyle, your turn.
All right, I'll take Cincinnati as well. I've been to Cincinnati before. I have not had this chili that everybody's talking about. It's like some sort of spaghetti chili. I guess I'll have to try it the next time I'm randomly in Cincinnati. But I think Cincinnati right now. It's a tough game for me. I don't follow those two teams very closely. To see it on the pick'em schedule is one of those games that is always kind of that could be a wrench in all of this. But I think Cincinnati. So I'll kick it to you, Trey.
Man, this is a great American Athletic Conference game. I love seeing games like this where a group of 5 teams, you have a game where you could say both teams could be in the top 25 even, but this Cincinnati team is different. I want some disparity in our picks. I got to gain some ground, but I got to go with the Cincinnati team in this one. And, I got ripped to shreds on Monday. Mick, you missed out your drive back from Tennessee, man, but I said if this Cincinnati team just handles their business, they have a route to the playoff. Right. And I'm sticking to that. Give me Cincinnati in this one at -4.
All right, guys, we've gone over in this segment, so we got to hurry with our lock of the week. So just get to it really quick. Kyle, I'll start with you.
I mean, the lock of the week, I mean, when you look at Alabama and Mississippi State, I don't know, 33 points for Alabama at home. I mean, it seems like a lot. I like to roll with Alabama in those big points, but I'm skeptical that it's going to be over 33 points. I'm not taking that surprisingly.
All right, Trey. Man.
Quickly, Trey.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the ACC, Virginia, North Carolina. The Tar Heels are at 7.5. I didn't trust them last week. It was in our pick'ems. I went against them. I'm going to take them this week. Lock of the week, 7.5, Tar Heels.
Hey, my lock of the week is Florida giving up 13.5 to Missouri. I know they've been dealing with COVID and they haven't played for a while, but Missouri stunk before COVID, and they stink after COVID. Florida's going to run over them like a freight train. They've got to win games big to get back in the playoff picture, and they're going to do it. All right, guys, that does it for our pick contest. We remind you that we're going to be at the Floor Bama when Alabama plays LSU, so come by and hang out with us. But it is free tonight. When we come back, we're going to talk Alabama and Mississippi State on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager, a medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer, made from those bold enough to brew it for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Now at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, get your Zero Zone savings.
0% APR, 72-month financing on 2021 Tucsons and 2020 Santa Fe's. Plus, no payments till 2021 and Tuscaloosa Hyundai's million-mile warranty, no charge.
Zero Zone savings.
Santa Fe or Tucson, 0 for 72, plus no payments till 21.
It's why you drive home happy.
Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Conifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availabilities.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
For a few glorious weeks, autumn blankets the Smoky Mountains in brilliant color. A Harvest Fest celebration filled with fun, where the best smiles aren't just the ones on jack-o'-lanterns. The excitement starts long before you visit. It starts the second you begin planning, the instant you tell the kids, the minute you hop in the car. This fall, when the getting there is part of the fun, you're headed to Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
Alabama versus Mississippi State. Today's matchup is powered by Bama Buggies. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson, and I'm Mick Gillispie. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube right now, like and subscribe the Bama Insider YouTube channel. And if you're listening on Jocks 2 Radio or on one of our podcasts, like and subscribe on YouTube. We got one of the best YouTube channels out there, putting a lot of different programming into effect, and we appreciate you watching the show. If you are watching it on the YouTube channel. We're at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. This remote's brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. We've actually had a shot of Screwball in this in the bar tonight with all of our friends here. And I got to remind you, too, that it's hunting season right now. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show brought to you by Bama Buggies. Bama Buggies is a touchdown for anyone looking for an ATV, a Sea-Doo, a motorcycle, side-by-side. Hunting season is almost here. You need to go by and see Barry and his crew over there at Bama Buggies. They've got you covered. Find out for yourself. Hunting season is here right now. BamaBuggies.com. Kyle, we've had so much fun that we've kind of gone over a little bit. So we got a couple minutes here to talk and then get back on track again. Alabama, Mississippi State, close neighbors. Believe it or not, these guys are always tough for Alabama.
Yeah, you know, the first time that I went to Stark Vegas, I went there. It wasn't too far away, right? I mean, what is it, like 40 minutes, 50 minutes? Actually, Mississippi State almost beat Alabama the last time that they were over there. And what was overwhelming to me was those cowbells. It never stopped. It was unbelievable. And then Jalen Hurts kind of rallied them back. I think in a game like this, Alabama is the clear favorite, clearly. And I think what it comes down to is just Alabama being able to make some plays on defense once again. I mean, it's kind of like the common theme, right? Because the offense is just so good. Now, it's going to be difficult because of that passing attack by Mike Leach. I mean, we're going to say it again and again. 70 passes in a game, it sounds, out of this world. But yeah, that's the type of offense that Mississippi State has. Is it going to be 5 touchdowns? Is it going to be 5 interceptions? It's up to the defense, right? And we saw them get beat over the top by Tennessee 3 times, which a lot of fans didn't like, right? I think the pass rush has to improve. Alabama's offense cannot be stopped, but it's all about the defense tomorrow.
Right, and Alabama's got this guy right here. Because before this guy, this game used to be really tough. And now all of a sudden, there's a tough one every once in a while. But Alabama looking for number 14 straight against their closest neighbor. I wouldn't call them a rival. Their neighbor over in Stark Vegas, Mississippi State. All right, when we come back, we're going to break this game down and make our predictions. One more segment left on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Now at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, get your zero zone savings.
0% APR, 72-month financing on 2021 Tucsons and 2020 Santa Fe's. Plus, no payments till 2021 and Tuscaloosa Hyundai's million-mile warranty, no charge.
Zero zone savings.
Santa Fe or Tucson, 0 for 72, plus no payments till 21.
It's why you drive home happy.
Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of Alabama's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand starting at just $54.99. The best seats in the outdoors on sale now. Bama Buggies on Skyland Boulevard East, BamaBuggies.com.
Price plus tax. Discount off MSRP includes all manufacturer incentives, dealer discounts, and freight while supplies last. See dealer for details. Expires in a month.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The lookout bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
For a few glorious weeks, autumn blankets the Smoky Mountains in brilliant color. A Harvest Fest celebration filled with fun, where the best smiles aren't just the ones on jack-o'-lanterns. The excitement starts long before you visit. It starts the second you begin planning, the instant you tell the kids, the minute you hop in the car. This fall, when the getting there is part of the fun, you're headed to Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, or an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating does not get any better. This is our game prediction with score driven by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. And let me remind everyone, if you're listening on Jocks 2, then you don't have to do this right now. Just get to your computer and later, like the folks that are watching the show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, like and subscribe. We're at Innisfree. This remote's presented by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Kyle, it's time to talk Alabama and Mississippi State. Give me your final thoughts on this game today.
Well, like I said in just this last segment, I think it's all about the defense. I mean, if the defense can get pressure on the quarterback, which is something that we haven't seen in the last couple games. I guess we saw it a little bit against Georgia when Alabama did come after Stetson Bennett and they made plays. If Alabama can effectively get after the quarterback and get heat on Mississippi State, then I think that Alabama secondary is going to have a big day. You're talking about maybe 2-3 interceptions. And I do see some pass rush in the future for Alabama. I think Christian Barmore is just a matter of time until he gets to the quarterback. You got William Anderson, who has been phenomenal as just a freshman, and he's continuing to get better as we see. You know, we need to see continued improvement from Dylan Moses, Christian Harris across the middle of the field. But overall, this defense is capable of helping out this offense reach the ultimate goal, which is a national championship. It all continues to tomorrow or Saturday against Mississippi State. Alabama's offense is completely electric. Najee Harris is the guy that we continue to not talk about, even though he has 14 touchdowns through 5 games. He's really that workhorse. And I think if Alabama is able to get up to create turnovers, then Alabama has a field day against Mississippi State. I know I'm not taking the 33 points, but I could be absolutely wrong. I mean, Alabama clearly the better team in this one, up and down the field, and added with the special teams. I mean, we haven't even talked about Will Reichard, who's 32 of 32 on PATs. How about that? I mean, that's just phenomenal what he's done this year, and 6 for 6 on field goals as well. So Alabama really trying to button everything up as we get to that second half of the regular season. But love Alabama in this one, and I think fans who do attend this game will be thoroughly impressed with the continued play of Mac Jones.
He's Kyle Henderson. You know him. He's the guy from BamaInsider. You've been doing it for a while, man, and people want to know where they're going to see you. I know they're going to see you after the game. You're all over the place now. Give us your schedule coming up.
Tomorrow. So I'll catch your calls tomorrow on the show. We'll do a pregame show, and I'll take your calls, and we'll talk some Alabama football, kind of get those score predictions and talk what to expect in this particular game. That show will be at 10 a.m., and then I'll be on live with Andrew Bone at 12 p.m. for Stage Ryan's announcement. Remember, he's committing to either Alabama or LSU, and just hearing from Andrew Bone, it looks like it could be LSU. It's kind of gone back and forth. Trey and I will also have the watch party, and then after the party is the after party as we have the post-game show. So when the game ends, think post-game show right on our YouTube channel, type BamaInsider to find our channel and to listen to our post-game call and show. Very popular. We'll also have the Nick Saban press conference. So Saturday is a busy day to say the least.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, just kind of going back to your point before we close it up, you were talking about that pass rush. I think, just kind of giving my final thoughts, I think Alabama at some point really has to do something up front. They did a nice job against Georgia batting down passes, and they pressured the quarterback some. Last week they killed Tennessee, but there really wasn't a pass rush. I never really felt like they were in the backfield. You look around and you're like, okay, who's going to be that Jonathan Allen type? Who's going to be that guy who's going to break through and just constantly harass the quarterback? Because I just haven't seen that yet. And they're still winning. And that's how college football is different too. Maybe you don't have to have a defense that's just constantly back there doing it.
And I get it. I mean, Nick Saban says you can't always quantify the pass rush based on quarterback sacks. And I get it. And it's a great point. But you can also quantify pressure on quarterback pressures. And there was only one in that game against Tennessee. What's the thought process there? I think it has to continue to improve, and especially against a team that's going to pass the football so much. I mean, that's the thing. Mississippi State doesn't even have a running back, right? I mean, the guys opted out. So it's all about the pass. And, the secondary will get a great opportunity to grow as a unit. And you're going to see Daniel Wright be tested. You're going to see DeMarco Hellams if he gets in. You're going to see Jordan Battle, who was beat over the top. You're going to see Patrick Surtain and Josh Jobe, those guys at the corners, continue to be tested against Mississippi State, and it'll provide an opportunity for those guys to get better, which they need to do, because as we look to the teams that can really challenge Alabama, who is it? We all know the teams. It's Clemson and Ohio State. And what do those two teams have in common? They have an elite quarterback and elite wide receiver. So Alabama's secondary, they have an opportunity to grow, to create value for themselves, and I think they're going to get a good test for Mississippi State, clearly, and we'll see how it goes, but all Alabama tomorrow against Mississippi State.
All right, he's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. Let me remind you that the BamaInsider Tailgate Show is your best source for Alabama football. You go to BamaInsider for recruiting. They're going to cover the Sage Ryan commitment tomorrow, the ceremony. They've got it all. Andrew Bone and Kyle with Rivals. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to the BamaInsider YouTube channel for those of you that are watching right now. Let me thank everyone here at Innisfree and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey for being the presenter of our remote today. Next show won't be next week. Alabama's off, but the week after that, we're going to be at the Floor Bama down in Orange Beach. Going to be a lot of fun. Come hang out with us. That'll be 6 to 8 on Friday before the LSU game. Come down and hang out. It's going to be a blast down there doing it on the line. Show's presented by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. Also presented by Pearl River Resort and Timeout Sports Lounge. Rounders here in Tuscaloosa on the Strip. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, R&R Cigar, Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Our friend Don Staley was going to come by today. He's going to join us real soon. Talked to him earlier. Really excited about all the great things that Tuscaloosa has coming, including Alabama football. Bama Buggies, All-State agent Andrew Conifer, who is hitting them around on the golf course today with Tripp, who owns Innisfree, and apparently he can play some golf. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey, Sevierville, Tennessee, Hotel Indigo, which is really a great place to stay, and the Floor Bama. That does it for us, guys. Had a great time. And for Trey Yanity, who's been our on-site producer, and Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillispie. Alabama and Mississippi State, the Tide trying to get the 6-0 healthy before the week off, and a showdown with LSU in the backstretch of this 10-game SEC slate. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Roll Tide.
The Floor Bama Beach Bar is